Boom. Okay. Looks like that is just a chat that I can't have fixing. So it's 4 minutes down. So we'll just go ahead and roll into this. But hey, welcome in. We're about to be live. At least it should be. This should be live, but it didn't click on. Hello. You're live right now. Ah, there we go. Sweet. Well, that's not the same quality of video either. It says it's an excellent connection. Why is that lower res? Maybe... Ooh, I better get my phone out of here. My phone is making some sounds. All right, cool. Well, we're going to go live here shortly, so let's go ahead and have some fun with this. And I will... Don't know why the chat's not showing up right there, but we'll worry about that later. But until then, I've got a few videos for you to watch before we go live. Location planning. There are really only two considerations that you should be making when choosing your location for Milky Way. One, your foreground. Using the composition tips that I gave you in the previous video, this one, you guys can see, and right here is the link, you guys can see that actually you blah 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 blah. Want to see me? Use the video linked right here to go see my composition tips. Otherwise, once you've decided on a cool foreground, the other consideration is number two, and most important, honestly, light pollution. You want the darkest sky possible. And so my favorite tool is lightpollutionmap.info. Lightpollutionmap.info is fantastic for showing you pretty up-to-date blooms of light. If you're lucky enough like me to live in the West Coast, the west side of the United States, then you're sitting here working around islands of light pockets. You've got light blooms that you have to work around in little city areas that are going to cause blooms of light in your image. And so you want to make sure that your foreground and the light pollution play nice together, or if you're lucky enough, completely eradicate light pollution if at all possible. I have a video right here that you can click on right there that breaks down all my light pollution avoidance philosophies, and you can go into detail there. But one thing I want to emphasize is that depending on where you're standing near that light pollution bloom, you can mitigate it. Even if you have some light pollution in the distance, if you're further away, you pull that light pollution bloom down to the lower part of your frame, and so where it blooms up, it's not messing with the core. And check out this, you can even have fun with the light pollution bloom and it doesn't ruin your shot. So you don't always have to avoid light pollution like it's a plague, but if you can get it off of your Milky Way core, success. That's all you really need to worry about. If it's below the core, you won't care. The last thing, I do not use filters. I am lucky enough to go to locations that are dark enough that I don't care about a little bit of filter blocking a little bit of light pollution if I even have any. So find a great foreground in a dark sky location by checking lightpollutionmap.info, and you've got a great spot for Milky Way. Next thing to consider is the clouds. Are the clouds going to be in the way? Let's check out that tomorrow. Thanks again for watching another video. I'll be back for a capture practices. The first one is the real critical one, and this one is a 2-second timer. Go into your settings and change your drive setting to be a 2-second timer. If you have a shutter release, still have a 2-second timer, because then you can make sure that you're not going to be doing or adding any vibration to your shot. The second thing is making sure you don't move around your tripod. As you're capturing, you've got 8 seconds, 13 seconds, 15 seconds of shutter going off. Don't mess it up by letting yourself bob back and forth on your feet. Don't kick the tripod, obviously, but if you're in sand and your feet were right here, you capture and then you move back, you know what happens in sand. Things start to move. Your tripod might be holding up in that sand, but when you move your foot, it's going to shift. Do not move during your shot. So be careful not to move around your tripod. Now, for some group advice. Group advice is basically if you have others in the area that you showed up to or they showed up after you, here's some piece of advice to make sure that you are playing well and nicely with your other photographers. Get to the point that when you use this guy, you know precisely where buttons are. Okay, change that. The other thing is make sure your back of your LCD screen that you change your brightness all the way down. Don't use it at its full brightness because others around you are going to have you showing up in their shot, or you're going to see light from your camera popping around the terrain and they don't want to have that in their shot. So be polite, turn the LCD brightness down. The last thing I would recommend is that if you have tape, gaffer's tape, make sure the front end of your camera and sometimes the back end that you tape off all the lights. You don't want that light going off next to someone else who's firing at the close sand dune in front of them, and now your red light has spread everywhere. So be sure to tape that guy off. Awesome. You do these things and you will be loved by others who are out there with you. Thanks again for watching. I'm Aaron King. If you guys want to know more, you can check out my course down below. Another Milky Way Wednesday. Wow, it's been several weeks since I have been back here live in the studio, and I am stoked to finally be back. Let's get nerdy about Milky Way photography. Tonight, we are going to get into AI. As you all know, artificial intelligence is getting better and better. The amazing things that AI can do is starting to be unrecognizable from the real thing. Slight differences here and there give it away, but for the most part, certain AI is really tough to distinguish from the real thing. In fact, I bet you probably haven't even caught on yet that this is actually not Aaron talking right now. This is an AI voice. One talking right now, and welcome in the original man himself, an AI voice trained using 3 hours of Aaron's Photog Adventures podcast. So let's turn on Aaron's camera again so you can see that he is not the one talking right now, and welcome in the original man himself, Aaron King. So this right here is an example of more AI, because we're talking about the AI and having some fun with it this week, because we can't always nerd out entirely about Milky Way and say the same lessons over and over again, especially since those of you who are hanging with me tonight, those of you who have said something in the chat, Ron, Rhonda, Tim, all of you know everything that I can teach you. Hey, it's Chris Whiting here too. Awesome. Hey, welcome in. So like that voice was trained and it'll say it a little different. Like here's a repeat. Hey everybody, welcome back for another Milky Way Wednesday. Wow, it's been several weeks since I have been back here live in the studio. And so that I can get it, and then I've hit generate speech again. It'll say it a little bit differently the next time. Hey everybody. Welcome back for another Milky Way Wednesday. Wow, it's been several weeks since I have been back here live in the studio, and I am stoked to finally be back. Let's get nerdy about Milky Way photography tonight. So yeah, so this interesting AI stuff, man, like I could just copy and paste a large bit of text and have it just get rolling. In fact, if I go to CNN.com right now and just grab the most, let's just say Judge worries, I don't want to do a freaking, no Trump stuff. Let's see, CNN. Do you have anything that's not about Trump? I don't want to talk about Harvey Weinstein either. Oh, this is interesting. During a live broadcast, a meteorologist gets attacked in Florida. That's not... What happened there? Okay, here's an opinion piece about Hugh Grant's movie. I'm going to copy and paste this text in here. This month marks the... Okay, sweet. Now it's going to be me reading this article. This month marks the 25th anniversary of Richard Curtis's blockbuster film Notting Hill, the now classic rom-com starring Julia Roberts as American movie star Anna Scott on location in London, and Hugh Grant as the diffident bookshop owner William Thacker, with whom Roberts' character falls in love. Laura Beers. Laura Beers is the article, so it's repeating her name over and over again. But yeah, so this stuff is crazy. This stuff right here. So I grabbed this from, oh, here's an ad. I got this from this top here, and Laura Beers' name is written at the top of the article and then also twice here. So Laura Beers. It just kept repeating it. So good evening and hello. Welcome in. Interesting AI, but darn if I don't hate it at the same time. I understand, man. I understand. There's a lot to hate. It's definitely more monotone, right? Like it can mix it up a little bit, and it was trained off of my podcast, but it's like it took the same section of podcast where I turn into this this voice and say, yes, welcome in, everybody. It's so good to be here. Actually, that's not even the right kind of sentence to give a description for. Just my talking right now has a bit of a cadence and has a bit of a pace, where it's like this month marks the 25th anniversary of Richard Curtis's blockbuster film, Notting Hill. And it doesn't have any of my inflection all the time. It can and it will add it, but I tried to add it in this situation by putting all caps, and it didn't quite work. And if I just put like an all caps question, hey on hello, I am stoked you are here. And because I wrote them in lowercase, I think it'll generate those as a lower quiet version of me. Hey Angelo, I am stoked you are here. Oh, yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. It almost sounded like me. But this sort of stuff with AI is crazy cool and crazy, like Chris said. It's something to not like at times as well. I mean, just the stuff that is going to be impossible to recognize. Was that Aaron King? Like, you could create that audio yourself. I mean, let's be honest, you could create it yourself, no problem. My podcasts are out there, and then all of a sudden you make a podcast where I'm bad-mouthing Royce Bear and saying how I am better than him or something, and then I have half the world, well, half the 10 people that heard it saying, holy crap, what's wrong with Aaron King? Why is he such a bigot? Why is he such a terrible person? So it's true. There's stuff to worry about and think about there. Tim Farmer says this over here. Wait, oh man, is that chat going to be not working? It was working with the other chat, but apparently not where I want it to. Come on, live chat. Show up. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so Tim Farmer says, yeah, love hate. How long until we are posting and others just copy and post some AI that is so good people pay money to AI instead of us? Yeah, I mean, I don't think photographers are modern, like the modern day equivalent of a horseshoe blacksmith, but there is some reality to us probably losing the application of us in some aspects. For instance, if someone says, I want an awesome horseshoe bend Milky Way photo, and it just creates one and it looks real, they won't care about buying your version of it, even though, you know, the Milky Way is way off to the south and southwest, and horseshoe bend's way out here. So it's going to be interesting. It's more monotone than you. After I said that, blah, blah, blah. Good evening, tough time getting this working. So I haven't checked in on hello. Hopefully your photo went well that night. You shared with me a picture of you on location with your camera set up on the tripod, ready to go, hoping that you got a Milky Way. And I didn't know how it worked. Too late. I'm recording and sending this to Royce. You're in trouble now. Hey, Royce, did you hear what Aaron King said on his podcast? He was talking all about you. Oh, my gosh, crap. I'm in trouble. No, I don't think Royce will believe it. He'll never believe it. But it would be interesting to see some cool applications of it. I mean, this wouldn't be real, but what if I got Ansel Adams' voice and interviewed him on a podcast using his biography, but he's just talking about it. But the thing is the AI eventually could extrapolate what he would answer, and that's not going to be really him. Even though it thinks it's matched down his personality, it wouldn't be the same. But it could be interesting, so if I die and my little kids want to be like, I want to hear Dada's voice, they could hear my voice in some aspects and have me talk about something to them. So it could be useful, could be weird. Well, the fun thing about this AI, and I'll go back over to my screen that we're going to hang out with tonight, is just the crazy, goofy, creating your own music stuff. For instance, I was trying to create, before this went live today, just a version that would be awesome for an opener for Milky Way Wednesday. And I think I got something started, but it might be too crazy.
Hey, is today Wednesday? Yeah, why? 'Cause that means it's time for Milky Way Wednesday! Turn on YouTube! Woo-hoo! It's time to get nerdy about Milky Way!
Hear it on my mic, it's too much probably.
Milky Way Wednesday with Aaron King!
All right. We got to pause that. It's a little too screamy, but it's got an idea for it. It's got a start, you know. It's kind of fun. So when I was going through this and creating the AI, you can see all the versions that it took me to create the final song. That is, as Chris Whiting put it, that is so bad it's almost good. And it also works out. It does sound like a Green Day song, right? It does have a bit of a Green Day feel to it. I didn't type in match Green Day, which if you do, you get this situation, like artist replaced. And you can see right there, maybe it says, we have replaced Imagine Dragons in this track with male vocalist / pop rock / alternative rock, indie pop, alt pop. And when I first did it on my originals, which is funny that it's not showing them on here, they all get moved. When you play them more and more, they get moved up in the list. It doesn't sort it by when created. So I have these two playlists. Let's go ahead and pull them up to make it easier to see. So I've created the original version. And to show you how this works, I'm going to use my other account, Milky Way Photographers. And, okay, cool. And hello's answer. I'm going to respond to that in a bit. All right, Toph, must you be here? Must you be right there? You make this very challenging. So when you go in UDO specifically, I'm not trying to sponsor UDO, or I don't have any sort of link to share. It's nothing like, hey, I've got this quick thing that if you go into UDO, I'll get a cut. There's nothing. I'm not connected or sponsored by them whatsoever. I was just having fun. And when I think about Milky Way Wednesday, the topics we can talk about Milky Way Wednesday, this seemed like a fun little goof around episode of just talking about Milky Way photography and using AI to create a cool song. So I prompted this. A song about Milky Way photography, male vocalist, rock, pop, punk, melodic, energetic, alternative rock, melancholic, rhythmic pop rock. Now this is what filled in automatically for me when I originally created the one that you hear, the one that I was sharing. So for instance, this first one that I put in my picture right here, this one, the prompt for it is that long one. So a prompt song about Milky Way photography, male vocalist, rock puppet. It did that because I said, in the style of Blink 182, and it's like, hey, we can't try to do Blink 182, but we will choose the genre and a bunch of different genres of it so that they're legally, not blocked or have any problem. And then it created the existing video, which I'm pretty sure you've all have seen. If you haven't, we might as well enjoy a little bit of that. It's only 2 minutes long, so it might not be the worst to... What was that? Did you lose your balance? She grabbed onto me from the side. So this is the way it looks as you input it. So when I'm looking at this app, and you can see this input, here's a prompt. And the prompt is simply what it's going to be about and the type and style of music that you want to do. And then if you write your own lyrics or if you have it auto-generated, you can choose that here. And I started off with auto-generated, but I said, here's just some ideas. I thought that I could use this with some ideas of how it would work. For instance, my very first one right here, the prompt was a song about Milky Way photography, pop rock, indie rock, playful, electronic dance music. And then I wrote in the lyrics just a few lyric ideas, like wishing you clear skies, keep those settings precise and your focus tight, let's enjoy some Milky Way tonight, whether I am tracking or stacking or keeping it simple with a single, I ignore those sounds in the bushes and concentrate on my execution, damn I am nailing this composition. And so those were my lyrics that I gave it, and it came out with this goofy song.
Wishing you clear skies, keep those settings precise and your focus tight. Let's enjoy some Milky Way tonight. I am tracking or stacking or keeping.
And it was definitely a bit too flaccid for me. It wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be, so I tried a different version.
Wishing you clear skies, keep those settings precise and your focus tight. Let's enjoy some Milky Way.
And that one got even worse.
Whether I'm tracking or stacking or keeping it simple, I ignore those sounds in the bushes and concentrate on my execution.
Although I
I'm
kind
nailing this composition.
Although I kind of enjoyed that talking, singing part. And then as I realized what was going on, I was like, okay, I got to control the lyrics a little bit more. And I found this unofficial page where people have, created sort of an assistance to creating the proper verse 1, declare verse versus verse 2, a pre-chorus or a chorus, even have like a drop. And they recommended, if you want to do like a breakdown screaming or do drop screaming. And I was like, I'm going to try some of that. So I started applying some of these terms in there. And this is what my prompt looked like. I saw my Milky Way photography, the up-tempo indie rock pop, and then wrote in specifically this information right there. Verse 1, searching for dark skies, hoping for clear nights, gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where is that? And you'll hear, I think you heard it on Stellar Frames. Let's play that again. When it says Roafuki, it's weird. Oh, it's playing the end of the song. It doesn't start off well.
Keep those settings precise and your focus tight. Let's enjoy some Milky Way tonight.
Whether I'm tracking or stacking, I'll keep it simple. I ignore those sounds in the bushes and concentrate on my execution. Damn, I'm nailing this composition.
Oh, it doesn't go into it. Is it dissonance in the weird Roafuki?
Searching for dark skies, where is that Roafuki?
Roafuki, it's close, so I started writing out Roafuki.
Searching for dark skies, hoping for clear nights. Where is that Roafuki? Because that's where I want to be.
And it was not getting close enough yet. It wasn't getting close enough, and I kept going through different styles, different verses. I started simplifying what I would include in the cut of the first one, recognizing it was only going 33 seconds long. And so I just did one verse, a second verse, and then did a drop. Then I was going to go into the chorus afterwards. When you're inside the creation of your idea, like for instance, this one created it again based off that same prompt and came up with
Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition, checking my corners, cutting
Here comes the drop.
distractions. Damn, I am nailing this composition. I am gonna get some Milky Way tonight.
and that's the drop right there. And if I can tell it to extend and say add this section afterwards, I can throw on this cue. And this is what I did with the other one, where I said, okay, now the drop happened, I'm going to put this chorus in and just keep a few committed lyrics, and there we go, extend. And so I'll let this extend in the background. So as it's creating, and if you don't have an account, I'm showing it from this perspective here, where this is the free version, where you have up to 10, I think, could do a day, and this is my 4th one now. Every time you commit an idea, it creates 2 versions of it. So you really only have 5 tries for free per day on the account, unless you're going to do what I did and pay $10 for the month and have some fun with it all night long, trying to create the perfect version of the song. So it's taking what I did with Celestial Pursuits and said, okay, continue that, and now do an extension where it goes into the chorus. And let's hear how that ends up turning out. Also, I got to go back over here to see your guys' chat. Hey, Rockstar Aaron in chat, howdy. Yes, I am a rock star now. I am moved on to another career in making AI music for those people who want it. Because it's funny, what Chris was saying earlier, I kind of hate it at the same time. It's hard to come out of like, oh, I created this cool music, come listen to my version, when everyone can just create an AI version of their own. It's going to be different than if you're an artist who's performing it, wrote it, despite the fact that writing music can be formulaic. Every song has been heard, and it's just kind of a variation of each song. What the AI is doing is entirely something anyone could do with the right text written in the prompt, and so it's hard to take it as, wow, look at this guy. If there were only AI artists in the future, it's not going to feel creative. It's not going to feel interesting. I don't think anyone's going to pay to hear their stuff or listen to their song over and over again, because it's this AI-driven, created music, which is building itself from a library of basically plagiarism. It's taking samples from different styles and then repeating some of the similar terms, kind of similar timing, similar lyrics, similar ways of screaming it and singing it. I'm impressed how real the voices sound, despite being completely AI, and I wonder how it's all generated and how much of it was plagiarized, but it is nuts. So real quick, before everyone starts thinking, okay, this is Milky Way Wednesday about a topic that I'm not terribly interested in, I'm going to go eat some dinner, I want to remind you that I'm doing a bonus one this week, because I knew that this was going to be a topic for kind of fun. It's Milky Way Wednesday, I have a Milky Way Wednesday theme, all of that kind of stuff, so I wanted to just mess around with it on Wednesday night, but we just had an amazing Aurora over 2 Fridays ago, and I've written to the group in the email. So if you are part of my email list, you got this email, and you received a link that said, hey, share your Auroras. Because we're going to celebrate the Aurora that happened that Friday night this Sunday. So it's going to be this Sunday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, where it's going to be a bonus Milky Way Wednesday live stream right here on YouTube, where we're going to talk about the Auroras. Oh, and the chat went away. Or maybe it's just been long enough. So the new AI Milky Way Wednesday airing on New Moon Wednesday. Is tonight New Moon Wednesday? No, it's not New Moon Wednesday. We got New Moon next week. Or maybe you were thinking about the upcoming week. So this is going to be a fun Milky Way Wednesday, celebrating your photos and celebrating that Aurora and talking about the Aurora. And so come and join me on Sunday at 1 p.m. here if you have time Sunday afternoon. And it'll be 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So Milky Way Wednesday again, twice this week, since this week I'm taking a little liberty with playing around with this cool feature. So someone mentioned that Milky Way Wednesday. While that's loading, I want to go back and listen to that song again. I want to listen to that opener and see if I like a version of it.
Hey, is today Wednesday? Yeah, why?
Cause that means it's time for Milky Way Wednesday. Turn on YouTube. Woo-hoo! It's time to get nerdy about Milky Way.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I gotta go ahead and try and perfect that, where it has some of that same like Milky Way Wednesday and not being so loud that it's just screaming at me, but kind of perfect a little bit too. So I love it. It's like, hey man, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Oh, nice. Let's turn on YouTube. Reminds me of the Big Bang opening music. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? It's pretty much my era growing up with this punk rock, indie rock, where they just have like power chords on their guitars and they're just bam, 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 bam. So it is right up my alley. Like someone said, does it sound like Green Day? It's like, yeah, it definitely sounds like Green Day. And that was Tim. And I love Green Day. In fact, my first ever CD ever purchased with music my mom doesn't approve of was Green Day. And when she saw that I had that Green Day CD, she took it from me and listened to all the songs and then recorded the songs that she agreed with on another cassette tape and gave me that cassette tape back. So I was like, I didn't get to keep the CD of the Dookie album because I had only a few songs approved. Thankfully, When I Come Around was approved because that was what I bought it for anyway. I wanted When I Come Around and Basket Case, and she gave me both of those. So, right on. So, love Green Day. Grew up listening to that. Link to what? I was just folding sheets. Okay, cool. The link right here is to share your image. Now, I am going to put a link out here on YouTube to mention when this is going to be on Sunday so that you'll have an actual video to come to. But right now it doesn't exist because I didn't want to confuse people about coming up Wednesday. So it'll be Sunday, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, where I have a bonus Milky Way Wednesday hangout here on YouTube, and I'll put in that link in the I'll put the link in the description where you can submit here to this album. But let me just paste that link over here. Where is it? It's in this, right? There we go. So this is the email that I sent out, and the link to share your photos are right here. And let me just go ahead and copy the whole thing and paste it here in the chat. So there you go. Link to share your Aurora photos, and then I'll talk about them. We'll celebrate it and enjoy. Is this taking forever or what? Let's see. Where are you, Milky Way Wednesday? Oh, the Auroras. Right. That's why I couldn't see it. Okay, here we go. So this is the extended version of this using the same prompt.
Searching for dark sights, hoping for clear nights. Gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where's Rofuki? Needed to guide me. Gotta get some Milky Way tonight. Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition. Checking my corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I am nailing this composition. I am gonna get some Milky Way tonight. I am gonna get this photo right. I am gonna get some Milky Way tonight. I am gonna get this photo right. We are gonna see our galaxy tonight. Focused on the core, we'll beg for more. Wishing you clear skies.
They really went slow on delivering that line. Let's enjoy some. But what's interesting is it's giving me the AI-generated artwork on this account, but never did it on this account. I don't know why. Look at all these that are just the same colors. But here it's actually pulling in like, okay, here's some photographers, and here's a Milky Way, and that's not so bad. Now, it's AI-generated art, which means it stole someone else's photo, tweaked it a little bit, and filtered it weird, and so it's not a copyright situation, but it is kind of copyright situation. But it's not bad. It's a real Milky Way, at least. It's not a fake drawn one. I can see the row of Fuki dust lanes going up. I can see this dark area in the up here in the, what is it, the Great Rift. So this is so crazy. SHI, he says, IOG punk. I have a photo of me and Joey Ramone. Joe Strummer stepped on my head when I told him he still hasn't learned how to play his guitar. OG punk. So Tim Farmers is an OG punk, and he loves that. He has a picture of him and Joey Ramone, and Joe Strummer stepped on his head. That's funny. I wonder why the chat won't show up down here. It's really weird that it's responding this way this week. For months and actually years, this has been terrific. So I wonder where that went away. If I go to Cam with chat, does it show up over here? No, it doesn't show up over there. That's a bummer. So oh, wait, there it goes. There's Tim Farmer's comment. I'm going to go ahead and leave that up real quick because I'm realizing that some of you may have not heard the final version of that song that I created for it. We might as well have some fun with it, and I'll pull in a clip where it'll play that. And it is what I did is I created the song. I had to go through 5 different versions where I inserted an extra at the end here, an extra at the end there, an extra at the end here, and then I created an intro. But the intro itself was a little longer than I wanted, so I had to cut it up and started from here. And then the song is exactly AI from like 23 seconds in through the end of the song is the entire song. But because it's fun with the lyrics, I went ahead and found a system that I can create the lyrics and have them be matched up on the screen so you can read the lyrics as you're watching. So I went ahead and created a video that shows it. Here's the song, and let's go ahead and play it. But you guys had a hard time hearing when I have the mic still on while you're listening. It's going to take a second here for you to be able to see that before it's delayed. But just let me know if that is going to be a distraction if I have them both running. I think the audio is a little loud on my end, so maybe if I turn it down, you will be able to not have it be so distracting. All right? So let's go ahead and let me show you the song.
Searching for dark sides, hoping for clear nights. Gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where's row of you keep needed to guide me? Gotta get some Milky Way tonight. Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition. Checking my corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I have nailed this composition. I am gonna get some Milky Way tonight. I am gonna get this photo right. We are gonna see our galaxy tonight. Focused on the core, we'll beg for more. Wishing you clear skies, praying for clear skies. Please have some clear skies. Let's enjoy some Milky Way tonight. Blew it the first time, fixing my focus. Gotta keep my execution.
This next verse, they did a really good
tight.
job with the voice for it.
Foreground's a bit dark,
after this.
sky seems lackluster. Gotta get this execution right. What's I'm hearing coming from near me? I swear I feel some eyes upon me. I gotta be brave, I gotta not care. Damn, what is with my imagination? I am gonna
Literally
get
said those
some
things.
Milky Way tonight. I am gonna get this photo right. We are gonna see our
It's almost over.
galaxy tonight. Focused on the core, we'll beg for more. Wishing you clear skies, praying for clear skies. Way tonight.
Okay, now it's going to repeat. No, go back. Okay, so one thing I loved about that in the end, because when you're creating this off of the AI and you're playing around with it, you go into a prompt like this. So you can see how I told it to go for the final chorus. And I said, wishing you clear skies, praying for clear skies, please have some clear skies. And I felt like 3 times was enough to really emphasize how, as nerdy photographers, Milky Way photographers, that were like, come on, please, the whole way there, the whole drive, you're like, let the clouds be gone, let the clouds be gone, let there be no clouds, let there be clear skies, please, please, please. And for some reason, the AI decided to repeat praying for clear skies, and I could have redone that part, but I'm like, I like that. I like how that went. I like how it added an extra emphasis. We're seriously praying for clear skies. We're going to emphasize it 4 times instead of 3, and then it ends it with a nice drop of, let's enjoy some Milky Way tonight. Pow, pow, pow. And so you were talking about it, Tim, about the video. That was just this different service that let me use one of their templates, and then I had to create the subtitle file where it had the timing right. And then based on that timing, it played them at the right time with the lyrics, and then had the banging wave files at the bottom off of the rhythm of the song. It did that automatically. So that was a cool way of being able to see the lyrics and understand, like, hey, Aaron brought up the Roafuki, of course, and talking about nailing your composition, checking your corners, cutting distractions out. And when I first started doing this, like I began showing you, let me emphasize this again. So if you ever want to play around with UDO and you do this yourself, pay attention to the way you do your prompt. So you can have a prompt that is entirely just random. In fact, let's use up another one of my freebies over here. Let's go over here to the creation. So say I didn't have an idea about style, and I said, let's do a complete reset prompt. So I think you can read this well enough, so forgive me if it's hard to follow. But I'll do a song about Milky Way photography. That's all I say, and I can do auto-generated and hit create. And it's going, okay, you told me it's a song about Milky Way photography, and it's going to decide on a music style. It'll choose things like rock, pop punk, melodic, and decide from there. I think it'll choose that again. No, actually it's going ethereal, atmospheric, and melancholic. Wow, this is going to be like, okay, there's 2 good versions. I've got one that's ambient, art rock, and rock style coming, and then an ethereal, atmospheric, melancholic one that might come across like a soundtrack a little bit more. And so you give it a prompt, you give it an idea. So for instance, my son, I was showing my 11-year-old son this, and I said, well, what do you want to make a song about? What would be interesting to you? And he gave this prompt. Let's go into the Rise of the Gooborn. Oh my gosh, my son, he's so funny. I love it. So let's go ahead and look at the track, and you can see the actual prompt. He says a song about goo robots, and he wanted goo robots specifically, so I put them in quotation marks, that for years have been stuck underground and are now coming out to build cities across the land. And I said, what kind of style of music do you want? He's like, well, I want it to be kind of cool with adventure. I'm like, so like epic adventure music? He's like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm like, and he started mentioning all the musical instruments he wanted involved, and like, do you want a whole symphony? Do you want a symphony accompanying this? He's like, yes. And then he's like in a nice strong voice. I'm like, okay, it's like a single male vocalist with powerful voice and echo. He's like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then it came up with this.
For years in darkness, newborn machines waiting. Now rise out of underland. Sentinels of new age with purpose rebuilding. From deepest caverns on Weaver Mine.
I think it's epic here. Oh yeah, we had to add a second extension to make that get epic. We had a chorus come in, and it gets really intense, and it's just funny to think of what it comes up with. So it came up with Stellar Expanse Lullaby, or another song called Stellar Glow. That's all I gave was the prompt of a song about Milky Way photography. And so it's going to come with the lyrics and everything. Let's hear what actually came out. That's the lyrics that came out. It makes me think of cosmic lights. nighttime they shined ever so bright, capturing the Milky Way's glow. So the AI comes up with lyrics for you as well. Let's hear the other version. Oh, this is terrible. How is this art rock? I guess it could be art rock. It's not rocking though. Under night skies, oh, capture stars in their glow. Oof, that's terrible. I can't hear it anymore. Capture stars in their glow now. Oh, capture stars in their glow now. So it can be really verbose, or it can be something that's pretty weak. When I started out creating mine, and I gave it the prompt in the very beginning of a song about Milky Way photography, use pop rock and blah, blah, and then here's some ideas for lyrics. I thought these would just be ideas. It's the only thing it ended up saying. So I was like, okay, let me try another version where I give it specifically a verse, but some ideas for the verse. And eventually it turned into very specific lyrics. And as I recognized what kind of music I really wanted it to be, this kind of punky look in one, I wanted it to be fast-paced. And so I had to actually get a syllable counter to recognize this is 5 syllables, this is 5 syllables, and then this was 9. So then I just kind of repeated that pattern, 5, 5, 9, 5, 5, 9. And that's what gave us the nice like finished product of being a little bit more speed. And oh, it went into the song. Okay, play it right here. Had a good speed to it, and it had a good pace.
Searching for dark sides, hoping for clear nights. Gonna get some Milky Way tonight.
The only thing that's a bummer is that when you're creating this, you can't really define the instrumentals as much. You can tell it to say guitars. You can tell it piano. You can tell it to use, I tried to do harmonies once, and instead of harmonies, it had one vocalist singing and another vocalist going, oh, like in the background. It was terrible. It was horrible sounding. It wasn't two harmonies singing the same lyrics. They just had like an accompanying, oh, it was like some sort of, if you've seen Little Mermaid as a kid where it had the bird in the background singing and it was terrible sounding, yeah, that's pretty much what it was like. And so you got to be careful what's going on there, and how you tweak it is a little bit challenging too. So when you go in and say, okay, I like this version, let's remix it. If you remix it, it can be completely different. So if you liked what that style was that it came up with, how the guitars and the accompanying instrumentals are just going to stay. Because I really, really dug how in this one, it had that chorus part of like,
Where's row of you key needed to
comes into the chorus here in a sec, where it has like, gotta get some Milky Way tonight, and it was perfect for me.
Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition, checking my corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I have nailed this composition. I am gonna get some Milky Way.
So when I heard that, I am gonna get some Milky Way tonight, that was the key. I was like, okay, I got to continue off that version just for that alone. And by telling it in the extension to create a chorus off of it, it ended up using the same idea. But what's really cool about this AI is that if you like that style that it was going with, it extends and enhances and builds off of that style for the next part. So the simple next line of saying, okay, chorus now, and I repeated, I am going to get this photo right, because it ended with, I am going to get the Milky Way tonight. I wanted to say, I'm going to get this photo right next, and then I wasn't sure how I was going to handle it, so I repeated those 2 lines, and then even though I repeated those 2 lines, it understood, okay, I'm not going to say those twice, I'm going to say those only once each, and I'm going to go into we are going to see our galaxy tonight, focused on the core, we'll beg for more, and it just handles it so well. It's so cool. Have some fun with that. I totally recommend it. UDO is one option, and there's another thing called Suno AI, and Suno is an option for building songs as well. I haven't really played with Suno much, but UDO has been working really well for me, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I knew that this Milky Way Wednesday was going to be kind of goofy, kind of fun, but also not everyone's cup of tea, and so it's not something I'm going to take all your time for, but I'm just going to emphasize it again with this is the Milky Way. I'm going to have the audio up so I can hear this even more. This is the Milky Way Wednesday theme song, and I have a bunch of versions, and I'm going to get your guys' vote on some of these. Let's see what you can think about this.
Hey, is it Wednesday? Yeah! Why?
Okay, so that's one version. Here's another version I kind of liked.
Hey, you say Wednesday? Yeah, why?
Cause that means it's time for Milky Way Wednesday. Turn on YouTube. Woo-hoo! It's time to get nerdy about Milky Way. Milky Way Wednesday.
So then I extended that. Let me pause this. Then I extended that into a version where it goes into Aaron King, and it kind of screams Aaron King a little too much. Not that it's screaming my name too much, but it just repeats it over and over again.
Hey, you say Wednesday?
Go forward.
Milky Way Wednesday with Aaron King.
Aaron.
Milky Way Wednesday. 'Cause that means it's time for Milky Way Wednesday. That's it, we gotta learn 'em.
I mean, if those sound good, it'd be fun to play around with some of those in it. In the beginning of the show, all these bands are making significantly more money on the reunion tours than they ever made the first time around, he's saying. He's talking about other bands, you guys are talking back and forth about that. So let's end this on this. Now, I'm going to end this topic on this, but if any of you had any questions or wanted to mention something about Milky Way photography, we have absolutely some time to go for that. But I wanted to show you, where am I? Oh, it's this. It's the Milky Way alternative. So I'll just show you how different styles are easily applied, and you can get some things down here. For instance, I'll open up all of these so you can see what prompts they are. So this first one, I'll hit play, and then I'll show you the prompt. Pop, vocal group, folk, acoustic guitar.
Gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where's Fuki? Needed to guide me.
Here's the next one.
Searching for dark sights.
So blues rock, male vocalist, pop rock.
Where's Fuki? Needed to guide me. Gotta get some Milky Way tonight.
This is a Beastie Boys capture.
Gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where's Fuki? Needed to guide me. Gotta get some Milky Way tonight. Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition.
So I said in the style of Beastie Boys, which it then says, hey, I can't do that. I can't copy them, but I'll do it as a hip-hop, East Coast hip-hop, energetic, rhythmic, sampling, hardcore hip-hop, party, playful, boastful, urban. So I went for those styles to try and hit up so many of those of that style of Beastie Boys. Here's like a Whitney Houston version.
Searching for dark sights, hoping for clear nights. Gonna get some Milky Way tonight.
Trying to go for Beach Boys, and it didn't really come off as Beach
Gotta
Boys.
get some Milky Way tonight.
When it says Milky Way tonight, it sounds like Beach Boys a little bit there.
Searching for dark sights, hoping for clear
This is a little bit more Beach Boysy.
some Milky Way tonight.
Man, some of those styles are a little too goofy, but they were popular at times, and so that sounded almost Beach Boysy plus, I don't know, something in the 70s, something flaccid rock. So I've seen so many bands, but I've never seen the Red Hots. I don't even know. Oh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Okay, gotcha. Sweet. You guys are talking about some bands I actually know. And I have to admit, Chris, I don't know who you said. Billy Zoom and Exene at the Coach House. I don't know who those are. So AC/DC on Hello. Right on. Cool. So I don't know if you guys have ever been interested in playing around with the AI stuff, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about this on Milky Way Wednesday. I couldn't help but do it. So in order to make it up to you, like I said, we'll be back again on Sunday at 1 p.m. and talk about Auroras and specifically your Aurora photography. So as you can see here, I've already got a bunch of submissions. And you know, with Aurora, it can be a bit redundant where it's like, look at all the great sky that you have to show off the Aurora. And so it ends up looking like the similar composition as everyone's goal was just to see more Aurora. I really like the fog in Cameron Wilcox's shot right here. I'm hoping Cameron will be there on Sunday so that I can hear from him on how it happened, because did he paint some sort of Orton effect or did he have a fog that wasn't affecting his view of the sky, because I like how that transitions from Aurora and then the misty fog. But it's really cool that we had that Aurora going off, where even here in Utah, you could see this in Hanksville around Factory Butte. That was just so freaking rocking. So it's awesome what we've got going on with the Aurora. We'll talk Aurora, talk about the maximum, the solar maximum and minimum, and I hope to even have a guest help me describe it and teach it so that we can just geek out about Aurora photography on Sunday. So right now, we've been on live. It is already 7:46. It's early for an Aaron King end, but I think because of this topic, it's worthwhile to not go crazy long, because not everyone's going to find this as interesting as I find it. But what I wanted to do, let's see, can I copy this chat? I can't. I'd have to moderate his text. I don't need to moderate it. But if you have any questions, you probably don't have any questions for me. Most of you guys in here have done Milky Way photography of your own and have been really awesome at it. In fact, I was hanging out with Tim Farmer in person for the first time ever, and it just so happened that he was there in Devil's Garden in Escalante the night that I was there. I just got lucky that he was there. So the answer to the question was Billy Zoom, guitar for X, and Xing was lead singer. I was LA Punk and X was a staple. Was X the name of the band? Is it called X? I don't know that band at all. But I'm also, I guess, young a bit. So I used to be young. When I said my age was 30-something, I felt really young. But now that I say 42, it feels really old. It feels very old. But let me try and see what happens when I copy and paste these lyrics into the Aaron King voice AI. And see how he phrases them. He won't sing it. I was trying to find a singing one that would actually generate my voice and sing with it, but it hasn't happened.
Searching for dark sights, hoping for clear nights. Gonna get some Milky Way tonight. Where's Ro Ophiuchi needed to guide me? Gotta get some Milky Way tonight. Keep settings precise and my focus tight. I gotta get my composition. Checking my corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I am nailing this composition.
Wow.
I am going to get some Milky...
It really emphasizes damn. Let's hear that again.
Damn, I am nailing this Damn, I am nailing this composition. I am going to get some... Gotta get my composition.
Not that.
Checking my corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I am nailing this composition. I am going to get some Milky Way tonight. I am going to get this photo right. We are going to see our galaxy tonight. Focused on the core, we'll beg for more. Wishing you clear skies, praying for clear skies.
What was that?
Please have some clear skies. Let's enjoy some Milky Way ton.
Oh, it didn't finish tonight. But what was that praying?
Wishing you clear skies, praying for clear skies. Please have some clear skies. Let's enjoy some Milky...
Man, okay. I should save that and then piece in a little voice audio. It's like, damn. I like that.
Corners, cutting distractions. Damn, I am nailing this.
Whew, yeah, this is going to be scary stuff. People can call my mom and then use that voiceover and be like, yo, this is Aaron King. I need to borrow some money, Mom. And it's going to sound just like me. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me on a goofy Milky Way Wednesday. I know that I wasn't necessarily giving you a tutorial on how to do this because I don't think any of you really needed or wanted that. But if you ever have any questions, hit me up. And I look forward to sharing with everybody when we hang out Sunday all of your Aurora photography. So if you have any Aurora photography and want to upload it, remember the link. I think I can paste it again. Oh nope, I just copied the entire text of the lyrics. All the lyrics were pasted in there, so I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and grab it. Man, which one of these windows is it? Is it in here? Yeah, there we go. Share your Aurora photos. It's a Google Drive photos album. So if you want to post your photos there, click on that. But otherwise, over on YouTube, there will be a new coming up live on Sunday at 1 p.m. You'll see that here in that featured section, and you can get the link there as well. I'll be posting that later because I'm going to go get some food. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat some dinner. Thanks, Tim, for hanging out with me again. Great meeting you in person, too, man. I'm stoked that I got a chance to meet you in person. Let's see if I can go big and actually see your comments. Yes, there we go. Sweet. So it was great meeting you and hanging out, even in the dark, so I don't think I'd recognize you if you walked past me in the daylight. I would just go, that guy's kind of the same tall silhouette that Tim was, and that's all I would have to go for it. Thanks for the hangout, Chris. We're going to get back into Milky Way focused stuff, but I'm gone for the next 3 weeks, so it'll only be pre-recorded videos for a little while, and I'll make them really awesome lessons so that there won't be, that actually be a benefit, honestly, that I'm gone. You won't get my weirdness. You'll get just really focused creations that are going to be dedicated lessons that you'll have to have fun with. So Amaki says, thanks, Aaron. Everyone have a good night and clear skies. Wishing you clear skies. Yes. Oh, man, I need to have an outro and an intro for Milky Way Wednesday. I love that. It's Wednesday. Yeah, turn on YouTube. Milky Way Wednesday. Oh, man, I gotta have fun with that. Gotta piece together a perfect one. All right, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. See you on Sunday if you can join me 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Let's talk Aurora. I will talk to you later. See you guys.